Greetings, dear friends. Happy Monday to you. I trust you had a lovely, nurturing weekend and are all ready to step into this new week. This is our usual Monday check-in and our inner compass forecast. So before we start getting into pulling cards to set the tone and immerse ourselves in the energies of this week, I like to just feel into and share with you the phase of the moon that we are influenced by. So how did the weekend go for you? How did that black moon in the sign of Virgo, the new moon in the sign of Virgo? I found it very, very powerful. And we're actually still kind of affected by that. It's really encouraging us to go really deep, really, really deep. The effects that we are influenced by now is we have a waxing crescent moon phase, and on the 28th it's going to be in the sign of Scorpio, so that's going to kind of magnify that depth that I'm talking about. A waxing crescent moon phase is time to actually start activating those intentions that may have been planted for you by you at the new moon. And so with this Scorpio energy, it's very, very transformative, and it's actually time, and you may find this is a time for us to calibrate to our own it's for want of a better word, it's our own shadowy parts, the pieces that we maybe keep stuffed down, maybe our fears, our limitations, our oh my god, what about this type of feelings. You know, it is said by some teachings that that's where our power is. Those pieces, those shadowy parts that are kind of underneath the surface. And if you've watched these sessions with me before, you know that one of my favorite questions to help us really get in touch with our own truth is, how do I feel about myself here? Now, how do I feel about myself here? Meaning, how do I feel about myself as I contemplate these ideas, as I head in this direction, as I think these thoughts, as I use these words? How do I feel about myself? And what we're looking for, particularly this week with this waxing crescent moon phase in the sign of Scorpio, is we want to feel aligned. We want to feel in touch with our soul's calling. We want to feel true to our own essence. And sometimes too, that can mean time to let go of agreements, of relationships, even of identities, of thinking things in a certain way, of doing things in a certain way. So that's a beautiful segue now into the first deck of cards that I like to use for us to really help us connect with the depths of who we are. But you know, as we navigate the energies which are flowing for us, through us, to us, it's all about really getting in touch with your wisdom, and following the beat of your drum. Now, as we kind of go through the transformation, and I always think of the transformation and the evolution of us as this upward spiral. So I don't know about you, but as we go through these steps, we kind of come into contact with things that don't serve us anymore. Things meaning ideas, beliefs, connections, ways of doing things. So that's why we start with what can we focus on letting go of. And with this idea of what can we focus letting go of in order to really connect with, really get in touch with my soul's calling, my soul's mission, and just really feel into that. So take a nice deep breath with me. Let's see what we can focus on letting go of in order to calibrate and align with these powerful transformational energies. Sometimes these cards have a bit of a sense of humor. It's stubbornness. So, where does stubbornness show up for you? Where does stubbornness come in and sort of sneak in and say, oh no, I can't change that? No, I'm not going to go into the depths of that idea or that intention or that possibility. Where does stubbornness block you from opening to what's possible? And maybe it's time to just say, okay, I see you, and I'm going to shake things up a bit. I'm going to do things in a different way, or just smile at it and say thank you. See, stubbornness can sometimes be coming up because we don't feel safe, or we don't feel authentic, or we're comparing ourselves to other people. And so therefore we kind of just get locked. You know, I get this sense of a child just saying no, right? Where does that come up? And how can you just lovingly acknowledge it and then let it go? We don't need to be stubborn. We can always find the flow which will help us get more traction on our goals and our intentions, but also align with what's possible for us. You know, any dream or idea or possibility that comes to your mind, it is potential for you. So don't let stubbornness derail you from setting the most auspicious, audacious intentions, and start doing the baby steps, because that's how we roll, right? And how we best roll with co-creating what's possible. So now let's see what the tarot has to say about all this, and this is beautiful. It's the Nine of Cups. One of my favorite. I have many favorites in the tarot deck, but Nine of Cups reminds you of how abundant, how prosperous, how much you have already achieved. And sometimes when we look at transformation or creating more or aligning deeper, we forget to pause and kind of pat ourselves on the shoulder and actually, if you're going through a bit of a tough time, maybe stubbornness is creating a bit of discombobulation or derailing you from what you would really like to have and create more of, then maybe it's time to actually acknowledge to yourself, I've been through stuff. I've been through so many upheavals and turmoils and derails and detours. I've got this. And maybe you could just sit with that for a moment. I've got this. If there is a challenge that's coming up. And if there is a challenge that's coming up, I've always said that if I trigger something or confuse you, or you need some more guidance or support on any of these ideas, just put it in the comments below or message me directly. If you've kind of fell into the vibe, it's really this idea of an inner compass forecast is to really help you get in touch with the fact that the answers you're looking for, they're always within you. However, sometimes that takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of dedication to kind of feel into what is it, and not get too caught up in the mind chatter. Come to your heart. So just come into your heart and take a nice deep breath. And maybe reiterate to yourself, all is well, or I've got this. Those are types of mantras that I really find very helpful when evidence around me is saying things are falling apart or derailing or going out of whack some way. If I come back into my heart space and just keep honoring that all is well, we are always in the right place at the right time. And so then refocusing, sometimes that is all you can do. And so maybe your intention could be, I trust the flow of everything that is my life that's coming through me. So as I was riffing on those ideas, oh gosh, this is so amazing. As I was riffing on those ideas, I was shuffling the Intuitive Whispers card. And check out, the first one that came up was move through your fear. That gave me goosebumps. Move through your fear. So if you have fear or discombobulation or something that's coming up for you, move through it. This is the perfect sort of orchestration of energies with this waxing crescent moon, with it being in the sign of, or it's going to be in the sign of Scorpio, it's to allow those fears to come up and move through them. I like to think of fear as being false evidence appearing real. What can you do to just say, you know, that is freaking me out a bit. That is discombobulating. That is, and be truthful. This is really about telling yourself the truth and then taking, even if it's just the tiniest step, you start to move through it. And then, and this one came up, this has come up a couple of times, the inspiration hunt. So that actually reminds me too of that, and an idea I've often said is all of the answers that you're looking for are actually looking for you too. And so sometimes when we get too caught up in the, I have to figure it out, I have to be logical, I have to rationalize it. No. If the answer's already in existence, then maybe you just need to allow yourself to open to it, and look for the signs. The signs are all around us. The signs can come in the sound of a bird song, in the way that a cat looks at you or talks to you. The signs are always there, but if we overthink, we miss them. So may you go on an inspiration hunt this week. And then the last one is to ground from the root. So that's an important one too, because feeling grounded, do you have a specific practice that you do each day to actually start your day from a grounded sense of connecting to Mother Earth, or connecting to whatever exercise makes you feel grounded, or landing in your body, or landing in your heart. I feel it's such an important piece to actually have regular practices to keep coming back to actually set your energy for the day. And if you need any ideas on that, let me know. I have a plethora of ideas and techniques and tips. So it's best for you to try out different things and then craft your own best way. Okay, take a nice deep breath. I'm just about ready to wrap this one up and send you off into this auspicious week ahead. But we wrap this up with pulling one of my Liberate Your Inner Truth cards. And that's what this is all about. Following our own inner compass is really truly dedicated to accessing, honoring, and being with and aligning with our own inner truth. And that's what these cards are all about. Oh, this is a good one. I am powerful. You are powerful. We are all powerful in our own unique flavor. And it's our responsibility, that's actually the purpose of each one of our lives, is to find that uniqueness and shine the light and honor the power that we each have access to. But let me read this out to you. I let my light shine, knowing that this gives others permission to do the same. This has the effect of liberating myself from all fear and inspires the same in others. Isn't that awesome? It helps you move through your fear to actually honor and acknowledge how powerful you are. May you have a beautiful week. Like I said, if you need any further support or ideas on anything that I've shared today, let me know. Put it in the comments below or message me directly. Much love to you. Have a fabulous week, and I'll be back again with you next Monday.